Hey guys, this is Michael, head coach at Hillsboro Barbell. As some of you may know, I'm not in Hillsboro right now. I'm actually in Mexico. I'm going to be here for a while, but I still wanted to record some videos, and I wanted to talk about on working with the barbell. That working with the barbell doesn't necessarily mean that you're training for powerlifting. So we get these inquiries all the time of people wanting to get coached by us or wanting some personal training or things like that. And they ask us, or they tell us, I don't want to work with the barbell. I don't want to do powerlifting. I don't want to lift heavy, which is all fine. But just because we are squatting, we are benching, deadlifting, overhead pressing, or even doing rows with the barbell doesn't necessarily mean that we are powerlifting. So that's what I kind of want to talk about today. I just wanted to clear a few things up. So basically, there's a lot of different ways to train. There's, probably hypertrophy training, and then there's maybe strength training. But honestly, they correlate a lot, or they cross-reference each other a lot. And what that means is that when you're doing hypertrophy training, typically the more extreme end of hypertrophy training means that you're kind of working on more isolation work. This could be more machine work. This could be some, barbell and dumbbell work as well. But basically you're trying to isolate a single muscle or muscle group. That you would say is more hypertrophy, right? You're trying to grow the muscle. That's what hypertrophy means, is the act of growing the muscle. Then there's strength training, and strength training can also be hypertrophy. In fact, I would put it under the same umbrella, meaning that if you are training for strength, that hypertrophy will occur. One example, both hypertrophy training and strength training require progressive overload. So if you're working on a machine or you're working with a barbell, what that means is that you are adding more weight onto the machine or barbell or onto the exercise in general every week. So for example, you have 100 pounds, you add 105 pounds, that's progressive overload. You are getting stronger. Maybe you're doing it on a machine and you're trying to focus on a certain muscle group, that's fine. But it is considered strength training because you're getting stronger. You're trying to put more weight on whatever exercise you're trying to do. Or what we focus on in our gym is, yes, working more with the barbell, working more in free weights. We do also do some machine work. And it's completely fine to supplement your training with barbells or machines. It really doesn't matter. But I guess the real question is, why do we personally here at Hillsboro Barbell like to work with the barbell? Number one, it's because it's one of the most efficient ways to grow muscle and to get strong. So what that means is that if you're doing a compound exercise like a squat, a bench, or a deadlift, basically an exercise that requires multiple muscle groups to perform, you are going to be building muscle in all those muscle groups. There's a reason why the deadlift and the squat are considered the king and queen of all exercises. It's because they're targeting a lot of muscles. Now you can also get strong at these exercises, but just because you're doing those exercises does not mean it's something that is going to increase injury risk or that you're going to get bulky. It really has nothing to do with it. So what we do in our training or in our coaching, especially when we're working with people who have never had a powerlifting background or really exercised at all, is that yes, we'd like to introduce them to the barbell. We don't lift heavy, at least not in the beginning. We don't try to strain you. We don't try to cause, it's an uncomfortable situation. We just try to get you under the barbell and get you familiar with the movement of performing a squat, bench, deadlift, or overhead press. So we had a lot of people come in, they start squatting, and they squat really light, just enough to perform the exercise. And then maybe we'll add some weight, just like in any other exercise, even if you're working on a machine. You start light, you get comfortable with the movement of the machine, and you add weight. A barbell is no different. I would say when you work with a coach, that having a coach there is helpful because they're going to help you make sure you perform it correctly. In powerlifting, believe it or not, we don't max out very often in training. It's not something that really, in my experience, is something that we program often. So if you think working with a barbell means that you're going to be like just putting a lot of weight on the bar and performing a heavy squat, bench, deadlift, no, that's not how most training works. We work on getting volume in, meaning a lot of reps and sets to create hypertrophy, and in the process create strength. Or really, we focus more on strength, and hypertrophy is a byproduct of lifting the weight. And it really, again, doesn't matter if it's a barbell or a machine or dumbbell or whatever else. Hypertrophy will occur as long as you're focusing on getting stronger. And in fact, if you're not focusing on getting stronger and you're doing purely hypertrophy work, this would be the extreme of you're not trying to focus on strength. Maybe you're trying to get an extra rep in. Maybe you're just trying to get the next weight down in the weight stack. That is also going to cause strength gain. Basically, if you're building muscle through pure hypertrophy or pure strength, you're going to get strong and you're also going to build muscle at the same time. So for those who have ever curious of working with us or working with a coach in general that works with the barbell, it's not anything to fear. It has nothing to do with powerlifting just because you work with a barbell. It's just an exercise, or you can look at it as a tool that we use to create more strength in hypertrophy. And in our opinion, it's one of the more efficient ways to do it. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at hillsboropowerlifting.com or here on Instagram. That would probably be the best way to reach out to us. Our handle is Hillsboro Barbell. And we would love to help you out, love to talk to you and get you more information. And yeah, you guys have a great day. Take care.